The crop duster is back and running and on the drag strip, and we're gonna go 10s no matter what.
Looking good and going fast.
All that. This is it, the crop duster. We're gonna drag test it for the very first time with a brand new 440 engine. So let's talk about the history of this thing. You remember this car all the way back to when it was a clapped out pile of garbage on Dulcich's property. And in an episode of Roadkill, we got it running, put a 440 in the thing, and did great burnouts. Then we had the harebrained scheme to actually paint the car, which was like a 3-year project. And Dulcich absolutely dominated it. I wish you could have seen this car in person to know how bad it was. But he fixed every dent, smoothed it out, and painted the thing in the factory Alpine white. We also added the 1971 blackout treatment, and as you'll see, the interior's finally done. I ended up taking it down to Kalen Head, who is our tech center manager, and he installed the carpet, the awesome seats, and I had the upholstery done with the factory 1971 sort of plaid-looking material. The very first car I ever drove was a 1971 Duster Twister with a 318 and a 3-speed, and it had that interior, so I had to have it again. Thing is, we've never raced it with a brand new engine, so let me tell you about that. The old engine that we had was a 383. This is a 440, but it's the same block. It's a low deck, unlike the factory 440, which is a tall deck, so this engine fits better in the car. The parts that are on it are the same as was on the 383. Same camshafts, same ported Edelbrock cylinder heads, different intake manifolds, same carburetor, same headers. The 383 made 500 horsepower and ran 1170s. This makes 576 horsepower. Dulcich won't let me say 575, and we're gonna find out right now exactly how fast it is with the car builder, Steve Dulcich, at the wheel. All right, Steve's just about ready to go. I'm airing the tire down here to 13.5 PSI. The fatal flaw in this thing, I think, is gonna be the limited slip or the sure grip in the back. It is wasted. It might only spin one tire, so I'll have to watch for that as it comes out of the burnout box. Oh, the other big deal is going to be the column shifter on this thing. It's really gummy. It's really hard to find gears. It's kind of a challenge as you're going down the track to look at the tack and like nudge it. And so let's hope he keeps it off the rev limiter because it's a challenge. Okay, here we go. I gotta be honest, I hope it runs in the 10s. Naturally, we didn't wire the line lock, so he's gonna have to foot brake it. Those tires are brand new. They're gonna need more of a burnout than that, I fear. All right, here we go. This is the very same engine block, a 383 Mopar block that was in my Super Bee when I bought it as my very first car. I've owned that block 38 years. Let's hope it's in one piece. I've got the rev limiter at 6,800, and he was all over it. 1152. That's not good. That's a lose.
Shifted it, but it didn't shift.
Yeah, that's gonna need some work. He was on the rev limiter a long time. Let's hope half a second. Okay, 1152, but you were on the rev limiter for at least half a second.
No, I moved the shifter, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And then it hung up in the gear.
Yeah, you gotta go pretty far with it.
Yeah.
But it went 121 miles an hour. Let's go again.
All right.
See how the car goes sideways in the burnout box like that? That's one of two things. It's either we've got the preload wrong in the rear suspension, or one of the front brakes is grabbing more than the other. Time, no rev limiter. 11.0! That close. Yeah, 11.09 at 121. So there you go. It's just gonna be a matter of sorting out the driving and stuff. It's hooking really good. It's picking up the tire about that much. And we're gonna run 10s today. Perfect.
Felt like it pulled a tire to me. Unfortunately, I overshifted at that time and ended up in drive. So that was a short shift into third gear. And again, it was shooting ducks through the traps.
Dude!
What?
What do you think it ran?
11:30?
11.09 at 121.
What's the 60 foot on this thing?
153.
Whoa, man, this thing hooks and books, dude. You got
Yes.
the shocks dialed in.
So you ran a full 10th quicker at the 60 foot, and a big part of that is that you didn't push the beams. So you got an 11-inch roll at the track.
Yeah.
But yeah, it picks up the tire about that much.
I felt it, yeah.
Yeah, so let's cool it down and take another stab at
Try
it.
it again.
I'm sure we can get 1099. This is gonna be our third pass. Our last one was 11.09. We're looking for 1099. Right now, I gave Steve another 300 RPM on the rev limiter. It's set at 7,100. The weather has cooled off, and we have a little bit of a tailwind. So if he can get that shifter to work right, this is our best opportunity to actually get that 10-second number. All right, he got into second on the burnout. Cleat here from the track is lining him up right in the groove, making sure that he's square. Hopefully he stages really shallow to get a run at the track. Going shallow. There we go. Got it. Yeah, 1142. Did you hear him on the rev limiter, which was 7,100 RPM? He shifted into third and it didn't go, so.
It was a perfect run, too. That shifter is just killing me. I was all over the rev limiter. Flipped it into drive, and I didn't have enough on the stick to get it into third gear. I'm gonna let Freiberger take it down the track and see if he has any better luck with it.
The 60 foot was exactly the same.
No, it was a perfect run, and then I put it in drive and it didn't shift.
You gotta go just that little bit further.
Yeah, I know, but it hairs you out.
It does
Man,
hair you
I'm gonna
out.
let you take it down the track and see if you can shift this thing, because that was a 10-second run, I thought. Okay, you might call it capitulation, but I call it teamwork. I was having a little trouble with that shifter. It's got real problems, and maybe David's gonna have the magic touch. He's gonna take it down the track this time. I've just relinquished the keys to the car. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully we get the 10-second time slip that we've been shooting for. Car looks good doing it, though.
Okay. Hopefully I can do this. Touch the rev limiter just a little bit on the 2.3.
If you didn't kiss the limiter on the 2-3 shift, that is 0.03 of a second off the mark we're shooting for. Wow, 11:03.
And I'm cheating a look. 11:03. 11:03. Give me a break. 122 miles an hour, fastest it's been. If I hadn't touched that rev limiter, that would have been it.
Man, I am just beating my head against the wall. We gotta do something in order to get that extra 0.04 of a second. So we're gonna do more.
That 11:03 is super frustrating.
Yes, because it's an 11, David.
Well, what happens on the internet when you say that you have an 11.03 second car?
Oh, well, that's pretty good. You've got a Duster in the 11s.
How about when you have a 1099 car?
Whoa, 10-second Duster.
So the difference between like Hero and Chump is 4 hundredths of a second. How much money and aggravation will I spend for that 4/100ths of a second?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
So the first thing we're gonna do is put in a looser torque converter. I think that it was too tight, which created two problems. First of all, slower 60-foot just from the converter. And second of all, if you watch the footage from our very first race, you can actually hear the carburetor sort of pop a little bit on each launch. And by reducing the load with a higher RPM converter, I'm pretty sure that it's gonna end up being better.
Yeah, well, the higher RPM is going to put the carburetor more in its happy spot with more airflow. It works better.
So we need to take the transmission out. You know what the biggest obstacle to that is?
No.
The hood.
Oh, getting the hood open. I'm going to address that too, because what happened when I bonded this hood on, it kind of sagged in the middle. So I'm going to put a reinforcement there to bow it back the way it's supposed to be, hopefully.
So torque converter, fix the hood, wire up the line lock, do a front end alignment, back to the track.
Yeah.
There we go. And it didn't pour out. Gotta drain the trans because it's gonna puke everywhere when we pull the dipstick out. Fortunately, the aftermarket pan has a drain plug. Okay, you can let the jack down. Okay, trans is ready to come down.
Is it fitting between the headers?
Maybe just barely.
We're making a gigantic pool of transmission fluid.
How'd that happen? I drained it.
It's coming out the dipstick hole like crazy.
Okay, I'm going down, okay?
Yeah. Oh.
Can you get the converter out now?
You bet I can.
Boom. Yeah, the trans wants to fall out, but now we can get it back in with the new converter.
Yeah.
Here's the main thing that we're doing to try and make the crop duster faster, changing the torque converter. The one that was in it, I honestly don't even remember what it is, but at the drag strip, it wanted to stall between 2,500 and 3,000 RPM, and the car is gonna go quicker if it's got more stall speed. I just couldn't get a good launch out of it, and so I'm going with more stall. This is estimated to be a 4,500 RPM converter, and first I gotta tell you that the guy who helped me with this is Jeff Paradise at Dice Converters, because the whole world was out of stock on parts. I don't know if you realize in the pandemic, all the aftermarket sold everything that they had, and now there's supply shortages, so they can't get materials to build new stuff. And so Jeff had to actually hand fabricate some of the parts inside this converter because I could not find one anywhere. But here's the thing about torque converters is that manufacturers use their experience to sort of judge where the stall is going to be, but you can't advertise a 3,000 RPM converter and have it stall at 3,000 RPM in every application. See, a converter stall speed is affected by horsepower in or torque in and load on the other side. So more torque makes it stall higher, less torque makes it stall lower. With the car, a heavier car makes it stall higher, a lighter car lower. A rear gear like a 308 will make it stall higher. A 410 will make it go lower. So think of it as horsepower in, the higher it is, the higher the stall. Load on the other side, the higher it is, the higher the stall. All right, we're gonna sauce this up with some fluid and throw it in the car. Got it. This is our new flex plate. Steve's over here worrying about a wiring color for the starter relay that we were arguing about. Meanwhile, I'm gonna show you that stock flex plate versus the new one that we got. You can see it's much more beef. And as an added benefit, it is already drilled for the 7/16 bolts that we need to install it. So, home run.
All right, I've got the fasteners just kind of started. I'm gonna get a low-powered impact to run them down and then take my torque wrench and torque them into place.
I'm trying to push the jack under as you're doing it. Dumping everywhere.
I can see that.
All right, now we've got it on the jack anyway.
It needs another ½ inch on my side to go up.
I know.
I can see that. I say we loosen that header.
It's so annoying, though, that it came out without having to do that.
Freiberger is pretty reluctant to do it, but I'm just gonna force the issue and loosen up the right side header. That's gonna give us plenty of clearance to easily position the transmission and torque converter and get it mated up with the back of the engine where it belongs.
So pushing that header out.
Yeah, if it goes
There
a
we
little
go.
more, it'll pop.
Okay, but now will the converter go in? There we go. That's the magic. Okay, It's really close when you do that. Okay, there, stop.
We've got the stride burner.
I think so. I'm getting the transmission back in, which is like the exact reverse procedure of taking it out. And right now, I am going to install a drive shaft safety loop. I think I got this at Mancini Racing, and it's really cool, because normally you have to drill holes in your floor for this, but this just bolts onto the back of where the cross member goes, and the drive shaft goes through the hole right there. And if you break the front U-joint, this thing catches the drive shaft so that it doesn't fall down and either pole vault you or go sideways and under the back tire or cause a crash for some reason. Here's the problem with the hood. It's fiberglass. We put this six-pack scoop on it, like a 1969.5 Super B or Roadrunner six-pack scoop, and you can buy hoods with that scoop, but they're too far forward and they're ugly. So we mounted it back here, but the problem is the hood is too soft and it sags right there so much that one person can't open it. It hits. Dulcich has been mind surfing this for months because it's annoyed him, and so he's gonna figure out how to fix that.
Ooh, that's close.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is put some weight here in order to dip the middle down, and then take that same measurement here with the straight edge and find out how far down to put it.
So that might be just a little too much,
it.
but basically pretty close.
So all we need to do is move this
Forward.
there.
Yes.
Now it's mint.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now we need to bend something that fits this perfectly.
Seriously, dude? Rebar?
I knew you wouldn't like it. You're gonna cover it in fiberglass. I figure the ridging helps the fiberglass get a bite on it.
This is industrial. We're building a hot rod. You know, maybe the rebar is not going to be that bad.
No, it's not gonna be seen. You fiberglass over it.
Okay.
How are you gonna bend it? Over your gut? Strong man. Ooh, back of the neck.
It's automatically going to find its own center, its equilibrium. Like Bruce Lee said, it shall be like water.
What?
So I'm going to begin right now with my carbide, and then I'm going to mix some fiberglass. I'm not going to put too much of this in there because I want it not to go off too fast.
All right, ready for me to lay rod?
What? You're not putting it in at the wrong angle.
We gotta squish this down. Should we clamp it?
3, 2, 1,
Go. All right, I guess we take a break while the Marglass hardens. Well, Dulcich is working on getting air conditioning going in the crew lounge because those guys are super whiny and soft, and it's only like 95 degrees in here. So while he's doing that, I'm gonna do some wiring of my own. You can see this is all like a disaster in here. I'm gonna be tidying that all up. Also, let me give you a tech tip about what I'm gonna do with the roll control or line lock. That is the solenoid that holds brake pressure to the front tires so that you can do a burnout. And obviously you trigger it with a button. That solenoid is just a coil that gets magnetized by electricity. So it's got 2 black wires and either one of them can be positive or negative. It doesn't matter. Here's the tip. You can trigger this thing with a ground instead of power. And because I can pick up power right here, which is like that far away from the solenoid, that's what I'm gonna do. Then the other wire is gonna run inside to the momentary switch, which will just go to ground. That way, I don't have a hot wire running all the way inside. It'll be a little bit safer.
One of the biggest frustrations we had last time this car was on the track was the column shift linkage. It was as stiff as mud and had no feel whatsoever. I'm gonna dive down, put in the rest of the linkage, make sure everything goes in free, and hopefully we'll have good shifting next time at the track. Hey, David, you wanna try it out?
I am ready. This is like critical. You cannot get this car down the track without this. And you may ask, why am I not just putting like a quarter stick or a ratcheting shifter in it? Just wouldn't be cool. This thing's gotta look stock. All right, and here comes first. Ooh, dude. It's still a little vague, but it's not all stiff and gummy.
Yeah, that's because the lever off the transmission has a hole in it that accepts a linkage rod.
Yeah.
And the stub on the linkage rod is way smaller than the hole in the transmission lever, so I'm gonna have to make a shim out of a piece of tubing or something.
Steve got the shifter so it moves really freely, but it still has some slop in it. And the problem with that is this arm right here needs to go into an arm on the transmission. And the hole on the trans is bigger than this is. So this is what makes Steve a genius. He measured it up and realized that a 25 bullet shell would work perfectly. So he got a spent casing here and tapped it on, and now it is gonna be my job to try and cut it to exactly the right length, which I'm gonna have to do with surgical precision. Check that out. I was able to cut through that casing right below the hole for the cotter pin. So that's our bushing right there. Of course, we don't know if this bushing actually fits in the hole in the transmission arm, but that's not important right now. What's important is that I did that job absolutely perfectly. Bullet casing worked, shifter done. Last time we were at the track, Dulcich and I were too lazy to remove the air filter, which might have made us go 0.03 seconds quicker, but that was bad, because look at this. With that lid on, there's only about an inch of space between here and here, and look how much this is blocking this filter. And so what I did is I got this taller filter. Look at the number of pleats per inch. This filter has very few pleats per inch. This has way more. And the more pleats per inch, the more surface area, the more potential airflow. And of course, also being taller helps. So I'm gonna get rid of this and install that. All right, you ready to stud that up for me, Dulcich? This is actually the most critical moment of the whole episode. Our weights that were bowing our hood are coming off.
Eyeball it with the eye of Freiberger and tell me if it flexes.
I am. Yes, it does. Okay. Wait.
What happened?
It might work.
Okay.
Can you open it by yourself?
No.
No. Death. Here, let me mark it. We have to grind a little bit. Right there. Okay, this is gonna be a bunch of adjusting and stuff, but we're gonna get it. So I think we need to pour ATF in it and then drop it on the ground and do a really quickie alignment. And then tomorrow morning, we will be at the drag strip at 4:30 in the morning to try and get our first pass at 7 a.m. to outrun the hot weather that we're all suffering in right now. See you then. Here we are at our home away from home, Famoso drag strip. And the Duster's already got downsides. Tell them about the hood.
It looks like it's not improved any from the way it was before.
It's worse.
Yeah.
The rebar fix is no fix at all. Thing is sagging really badly.
I think it needed to go from end to corner to corner.
I guess so. But we're gonna check the timing on the thing and gotta put tire pressure in it and maybe drive it around, get some heat in the oil, and that's about it.
The whole story is gonna be told here in the next hour.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be one and done if everything works right. And if not, it's just gonna get hotter and hotter, and we're gonna be chasing our tails all day.
Let's see how much I can stall this thing up.
That looked pretty good on the burnout. You got some heat in the tires. That was encouraging. Here goes. It rolled out. It's sounding pretty strong. Oh, 1138. Not good.
All right, that wasn't gonna be it. I pushed through the lights.
We're running almost 120 miles an hour, but the ET's just not there. The thing rolled out on the starting line.
I probably should have just given up as soon as I pushed through the lights.
He's going to hot lap it. There ain't no time for conversation. That means he's probably got in mind what went wrong.
The problem is definitely that I cannot stall it up.
We'll see what Freiberger's got up his sleeve right now. Staged. That definitely looked like a better lead. The motor sounded clean. Nice shift. 1120s.
It doesn't feel like it's hooking as hard as it did the last time I was here. Of course, I've now got the engine temperature way up.
Hey, you know what? I can shift the car now. That's a big deal. I might be short shifting first to second a little bit. We're not gonna do this today. It's not gonna get any better. Here's what's going on so far. My brakes are not allowing me to stall the converter up to where it needs to be, so I'm still leaving below 3,000 RPM. It just starts pushing through the lights, which is a common problem and very frustrating. It's why a trans brake is way better, among other reasons. So I think what we're gonna do is go again. I'm getting the thing cooled down. We're gonna lower the air pressure in the tires, and maybe that'll help it stick a little bit more, and I'm gonna shift at a higher RPM.
Let me just save you some of the agony that we experienced on this day because you do not want to watch every pass. We made a dozen of them, flogging this thing, trying everything that we could, and honestly, it only ran 1122. It wouldn't even do a little wheelie anymore. Now, there's a couple reasons for that. First of all, our new torque converter didn't actually stall higher than our old one. It happens. Part of the reason for that is that the engine wasn't making the power that it used to because the day was so hot. And we know that because it was only running 119 miles an hour instead of 122. Ultimately, not the ET that we needed. And so we're gonna have to come back a third time. And let me tell you, this time it is going to involve nitrous oxide because I am gonna run 10s no matter what it takes.
And now it's our third day at the track. Let's just take a moment and breathe. Here's what I started thinking about when I went home the last time we were at the track. This car was meant to be a street machine the entire time. And the honest truth is, I can't run 10s at any drag strip anyway because it doesn't even have a roll bar. And so that's when I had my moment of peace. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna step the car up any further. I'm gonna come to the track. Hopefully, because it's cooler today, I'll finally run that 1099. I'm just gonna be at peace with that. Up to the point where I spray it with a little bit of nitrous oxide just to get that 1/10-second run, and then out of here, and the crop duster becomes a regular old street machine. So that's where we're at right now. I'm about to load up, and we're gonna make a run without the nitrous, and it's cooler now than it was the last time we were here, so who knows? Maybe we get our number, and then walk home happy.
Okay, here we go. He's at the burnout box. I hope he gets some heat in the tires, because right now everything is completely dead cold.
All right, I got the high sign.
That was way better than I thought it was gonna be.
Okay.
Obviously, we wanted to knock 300s off our best time, get a 10-second slip. It won't be long. We'll have our answer here real quick. All right, trees counting down. Come on, baby. Come on. It's not really there.
All right, if that didn't do it, it just is what it is. I'm actually happy that the new converter is tighter for street driving, to tell you the truth. So we may have to go to the nitrous.
Is he gonna go straight to the nitrous now? Get that number, call it a day? At least he stopped to talk to me this time.
Okay, that's the same thing it ran last time out, 1122.
This converter might be a couple of tenths off from where we were before with the other converter.
Yeah.
When it ran the 1103.
And what's the 60-foot?
158.
Yep. It's exactly what it ran last time we were here. That is just what this car is gonna run. The best last time was 1122 with a 158 60-foot, and I just ran 1124 with a 158 60-foot.
It launched better with the other converter.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to go to the nitrous, otherwise we're just flogging the car and ourselves.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, we're going to the nitrous. Notice I'm not that disappointed though. I'm not normal like devastated Freiberger who is super frustrated with why stuff doesn't work, because it's actually doing exactly what it should do. Okay, so 1124 at 119. At least the car is consistent. We're gonna put the nitrous on it. That means putting a bottle in the trunk and checking the flowing fuel pressure, and then we're back on track. I've got the fan running now to cool the thing off. We have the nitrous system completely installed except for the bottle, and so I wanna put that in the car, and then we're gonna purge the nitrous through the engine And as it's purging, I'm gonna look at the fuel pressure and see where it's dropping to. I'm gonna show you how to do the right thing the wrong way here.
It's at 8.
Okay, let's leave it there. Okay, everything's hooked up on the nitrous, the bottle's in. What I'm gonna do now is start the engine, and then Steve's gonna open the nitrous bottle. The reason that we're doing that is if I hear the engine start to climb in RPM, then we know that there is a leak on the nitrous solenoid, and we do not want that. So that's why we take this safety precaution. Okay, looks like we're good. So what I'm gonna do is hit the nitrous real quick. You'll hear the engine jump in RPM, and he's gonna see how much the fuel pressure drops.
That was five or six.
5 or 6. It might drop more than that on a longer one, so let's just bring it up a little bit to be safe and then go. Okay, 9.
All right, that should be plenty, 9 PSI.
Here's the other thing to think about when you're running nitrous is you don't want detonation. And so we've got race gas in the tank. It's 110 octane. Second of all, you want to retard your ignition timing when you're on the nitrous. We've got the MSD Digital 6 Plus doing that. As soon as I activate the nitrous oxide, it retards the timing 6 degrees. And the shot on this sniper plate system is 150 horsepower. Right now, I'm just gonna go out there and hit it, see what happens. I don't want to leave parts on the track.
What we have here is strictly academic. You put nitrous on the car and one of two things happen. Either you go faster, which is what you want, or you break stuff. So prepare yourself for the 10-second time slip that we crave.
There we go. Nitrous system on, and here we go.
He's staged, and Freiberger is not messing around.
All the way down the track. That's got to do something, right?
1034 at 129 miles an hour. I think that settles that.
I didn't hear any detonating and nothing smoking. I think we're good. But if that didn't help ET, I got nothing for you. That better say 10 something. It does.
I knew he was going to come out guns blazing. I thought probably a 95% chance he's going to hit it right off the line, and that's exactly what he did. He was not messing around this time. So we're 1034 at almost 130 miles an hour. If we could find just a little more mile an hour, so what do you think, Freiberger? If we could find 3/10, we could be in the 9s.
No, no, quitting while we're ahead. The Duster's in one piece. I can say that her antennas, what was it?
It's 1034 at 129.
Okay, man, that's honking.
Yeah, you must have had some RPMs going through the traps.
Yeah, 7,000.
So, nice work. That's a solid number. The crop duster, I guess we'll retire it as a drag car before they kick us off the track.
Totally, I can never run that at any track ever.
It's not a high-dollar car, and it's turning a pretty sweet number.
Yeah, and actually, if you perfected it as a drag car,
oh, yeah,
you could run it naturally aspirated at high 10s all day long.
on the right day.
Yeah, it's just not set up for that. Okay, Steve, I think we're pretty good.
Do I have happy Freiberger? Judging by that grin, I would say pretty good.
I psyched myself out earlier in the day to be happy no matter what, and I am. So basically, this car ran naturally aspirated 1103 at 122 miles an hour.
Right.
And then we changed the torque converter, and it ended up being tighter. So with the tighter, more streetable torque converter, naturally aspirated here today, it did a 158 60 foot. The 8th mile was 715 at 95.8 miles an hour, and the quarter mile, 1124 at 119.95. Call it 120.
Okay.
And then nitrous. When we hit the nitrous all the way down the track, first of all, I knocked a 10th off the 60 foot. It went 1.481. 8th mile time, 6.578 at 104.73. And the quarter mile final number, probably the fastest this car will ever run, is 129.4 miles an hour, and the ET 10.348.
That's not bad, almost 130 miles an hour and
yeah,
low 10. So, you know, the whole job description here was, hey, let's try to make this thing run 1150s, right?
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Boom,
boom.
boom, Boom! And that ends the tale of the Roadkill Garage crop duster.
Wow, this, ow, ow,
Hair?
hair.
Ow, want me to pull it off?
No, no, no. What's this, stuck under the wheel or what?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, let's roll, oh man, oh, son of a, ugh.
Ow.
Yeah, my hair got caught under the wheel.
Get a haircut, hippie.
Are you listening?
No,
I didn't think so.
no, I'm surfing Instagram. Check it out, I got really, really cool new artwork on the F-Rod, so that's what I'm looking at. Ed Tilrock made that for me. So I have virtually no interest in what Dulcich is doing right now because I'm like looking at that.